Alright, this problem tells us to compute each geometric series. The directions should give us some clues. Geometric means I'm using the letter G. Geometric means I'm using a difference or a ratio. Common ratio. A series means that there's going to be a bunch of pluses. So we're going to do C together. I've been given this problem here, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a formula, and I'm going to write down the formula above it. Everyone say write down the formula. So I'm thinking about this. I know it's geometric, so it can't be 8.2. So I go over here, and I have the summation one. I'm going to write that one right below it or above it. Let's do below it. Summation n I equals 1 G1 times r to the I minus 1. Oh, they're so tricky. They have the 6 here. We've never had a 6 before. I can put that 6 right in there. Do you see that? So let's figure out all of our values. Now this problem is kind of weird because it tells you actually start with 0. And I only need to figure out the first one and I'm done. I have this summation kind of tells us we can either use this one. So my G1 value is 6. My first term in there is 6. My ratio is the one next to that. That'll be 1/3. And my n value, pay attention, is not 4. If you list out what they asked me, they started at 0, and they're telling me to go to 4, so how many numbers are there? Count with me, ready, set, go.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
My n value is equal to 5. Now, it would be a pain to go and substitute. We just did, let me prove to you that this equals 0, or equals 6. If I take in 0, where I is, anything to the 0 power is equal to 1. 1 times 6 equals 6. Okay? Now, I can use the formula we talked about above. Sn equals G1 times r to the n minus 1 over r minus 1. And all I have to do there is just do my substitution and then simplify. Class, what's my G1 value?
2.
R value? 1/3. N value? 5 minus 1. All over R value?
1/3.
Oh no. Those fractions. Some of you scarier than not scary fun. S to the 5th equals 6 times 1/3 to the 4th power. Here you can write out 1/3 4 times. Or you can use a property of exponents that basically just says 1 to the 4th over 3 to the 4th. What does that equal? So let me model that for you. Calculator. 3 caret to the 4th power equals 81. So 1 over 81. That's all over 1/3 minus 1. Now this 1, I'm going to start transforming my fractions here. I can't subtract these, but I can change this to a fraction by putting it over 1. And I need to have a common denominator of 3, so I can multiply by 3 over 3. So this is really subtracting by 3 over 3. So in this problem, I recognize in the numerator as well that I cannot subtract 6 minus 1 over 81. This is a fraction, this is not, so let's turn this into a fraction. And I'm going to have to multiply this number by 81 over 81. And I'm doing that so I get a common denominator. 81 times 6? 486. Okay. Over 81 minus 1 over 81. All over, class, what's 1 minus 3? So this will become negative 2/3. So 486 minus 1 gives me 485 over 81, all over negative 2/3. Now I'm going to write this. This is a vertical fraction of division. I'm going to write that horizontally. 485 over 81 divided by negative 2/3. To get rid of the division of fractions, I'm going to change this one to which math operation? To multiplication. So that's 485 over 81. And you're going to have to do what here? So we're going to take the reciprocal, which is 3 over 2. All I need to do now is just multiply across, and I have my answer. 485 times 3 gives me 1455 over 81 times 2. And if you wanted to actually get a number, say 1455 divided by 162, you get about 8.98. And the book has 826 over 27, which is actually the same thing. So this value, that's acceptable to me. Let's review what we just did in this problem. They gave us summation notation. They asked us to compute the geometric series. In order to do that problem, I took out some clues. N value is 5, G1 value is 6, R value is 1/3. I wrote down my formula, did the substitutions. I had to make fractions common denominators, and divided the fractions, and we got this as our answer.